Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Dave was a good friend of mine, and I really miss him.
Yeah, me too.
So this has a lot of meaning for me.
So how did it feel out there to be on that stage, to remember Dave, to be in this moment?
It was cool. I mean, I haven't, I'm not sure what you do to become a defense attorney of the year, but it's nice that somebody is willing to recognize. I think it's really more a lifetime achievement kind of thing.
Okay.
I've been doing did advocates work for 18 years,
Okay.
representing injured workers. Now bring that experience to working as a defense attorney, which I think is extraordinarily valuable. And I think it helps bring a perspective that makes it useful in terms of the work that I do as a defense attorney.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give to, say, new defense attorneys coming in, or even applicant attorneys coming in?
Yeah, I think the critical part is to remember there's the law and there's the people.
Yes.
And the people are a critical aspect of this. And when you listen to the stories of the people, sometimes you have to remember those are the things that really make the difference in terms of how things are done. For many people, their workers' comp case is their only thing that's happening to them at the moment that it's going on. I've got 120 files. Applicant attorneys might have 300 files.
Right.
When I left applicant attorneys work, I had almost 500 files.
Wow.
But for an injured worker, this may be their only case. Mm-hmm. So for them, it's important, and they may overreact to it. They may not understand, and so it's important to guide them through the process. One of the things I used to say is that as an applicant attorney, it was very common. I would meet 1,000 injured workers a year.
Wow.
Because you would talk to people whose cases you didn't take. You talk to people and say, you don't need me, you're okay, they're treating you okay. And there's the 100 or 150 cases you take a year. As a defense attorney, you talk to maybe 40 or 50 injured workers a year.
Wow, okay.
So it's a much different kind of exposure. And that's one of the reasons why I think being the applicant attorney helped a lot. But it's important to try and glean out of those 40 or 50 that you get what's really going on with the individual and how they're reacting to their injury, and maybe what you can do to help mitigate it. I mean, the reality is, one of my partners used to say, my applicant attorney partners used to say, the worst day of your life was the day you got injured, and my job is to get you beyond that to the point where this doesn't matter anymore. Whether you can actually do that is always a problem.
That. That's a great kind of motto to have.
That was James Vandersloot, who was my partner for many years. So, an outstanding applicant attorney and somebody that I think had the right perspective.
Wonderful. So is there anybody who has inspired you, or somebody who you want to give a little shout out to, a thank you to?
Well, besides Dave, who I thought was a phenomenal person, and I love his approach, which was very injured workers centric.
Yes.
I would say the first applicant attorney I worked with, Ken Larson, really sort of set the tone for a lot of what my career has been. He's probably 80 years old now, but Ken was the one who got me involved. I knew nothing about workers' comp. And he's the one who basically brought me up in the industry, was passionate about representing people, always wanted to make sure that people got taken care of. I think that helped a lot. In terms of the way things actually work, I think probably one of the bigger influences in terms of the way I approach things.
Wonderful. It always helps to have that kind of companion person to work with and bounce ideas off with.
It is. I have to say another person is my wife, who works in workers' comp in sort of a different area, so it's sort of a complementary area. And she helps bring perspective, medical information. She's a nurse. She was a case manager. She's now a vice president over at Kaiser, so she works in a different area. But she helps to make my life easier so I can do this kind of stuff. Because I work long hours, and you put a lot of time. I almost work as many hours as she does.
And nurses work long hours.
She's not a nurse. She's in management. So, but Gotcha. She puts in a tremendous amount of time. She's very dedicated to her job, loves her job, so she spends time in it. So we have a good partnership. So we get to come to places like this, like she's here today.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's nice that she gets to see me get this award. We go to many conferences together where we're both at the same time. We've done seminars together. We've spoken
Okay.
together on occasion.
Wow.
Most of the time, I'm doing a legal program and she's doing a case management or a different kind of program. So it's not often, but happens once in a while.
Hey,
So-
the fact that it can happen is a blessing.
That's right.
You
It's,
know,
it's a family affair.
love it. Well, congratulations, Jacob.
Thank
it was
you
great
very
to meet
much.
you.
All right.